this afternoon. It didn't look promising this morning, but the fog has lifted and it's been absolutely fine. A little bit cold. And away they go. And Wolf Moon very well backed here into 4-1 from 11-2. Horse on the right in the grey sleeves, held up in the early stages. Winner, of course, of the Paddy Power meeting. Wolf Moon as Amore Mio led over the first. Maucaillou is the back marker. It's Amore Mio and in the green jacket Kayf Aramis. Near side time for Rupert. And then Stripe Me Blue is handy with Giovanna and Chiaro. They're followed by Cliffhanger, pink colours Trenchant, Wolf Moon on the near side, Made in Japan in stripes is wide of Ring the Boss, then Buena Vista, Earth Planet in the yellow with the brown hoops on the cap, held up at the back of the leading group at this early stage by Ruby Walsh. So they continue along the back straight. The last two, Souffleur and Maucaillou. So Amore Mio from second, Kayf Aramis. Kayf Aramis, a winner at the festival here last season. The Potemps beat Buena Vista on that occasion as they climb the hill on the far side. Kayf Aramis in the green jacket, Paddy Brennan. White-faced Amore Mio and Jack Doyle. Time for Rupert in third. Then Stripe Me Blue on the outside of Giovanna. Chiaro was next to jump from Wolf Moon Trenchant. And then Cliffhanger. Then Made in Japan, Buena Vista, Ring the Boss, Earth Planet, and then finally Souffleur, and finally, last of all, Maucaillou. So top of the race course, swinging left-handed, Earth Planet going off the 9-4 favourite. So a little bit shorter than one might have expected, but it's the Nichols-Walsh factor perhaps. It's Amore Mio and Kayf Aramis. As I start down the hill, time for Rupert in the purple cap on the inside of Stripe Me Blue. They're tracked by Giovanna and Trenchant, and then Cliffhanger and Made in Japan out wide. There's Maucaillou, ridden with great restraint by Alan Corley at the rear of the field. Still early days, early skirmishes as they run down to the next. Amore Mio and Kayf Aramis. And gone, Earth Planet. Earth Planet has gone there in the hands of Ruby Walsh. Just slithered on landing, and the favourite is out of the race. Horse and rider are up okay. The horse didn't go very far. And in previous days, I suppose Ruby might have considered remounting, but he's not allowed to anymore as they start up the home straight. With over a circuit to go. So the favourite's out, Kayf Aramis and Amore Mio continuing to dispute it. Stripe Me Blue, time for Rupert. Then Giovanna just in behind them as they approach the flight in front of the stands. Trenchant is wide with Cliffhanger, none wider than Made in Japan. Then Wolf Moon right round the inside, following time for Rupert through from Chiaro. Ring the Boss towards the back still, but they're well grouped together with one or two exceptions. Buena Vista, Souffleur, Maucaillou ridden with exaggerated patience at the rear of the field, 5 lengths off the nearest horse. So they head towards the far side once again, and still Amore Mio and Kayf Aramis disputing it. John, that looked a rather unfortunate departure from Earth Planet. Fairly soft fall as falls go.
Well, yeah, soft for you sitting up in your commentary box, I expect, Simon.
Perhaps.
But I was pleased because I thought that for a moment that Ruby was hung up, and I also thought that the horse had damaged his leg, but good to see them both up again. But if you back Maucaillou here, he's been given a really patient ride by Squeaky Corley. But you'd be struggling to pick the winner out at this stage.
Over the next, some of us have never ridden better from the grandstand as they cleared the next. And Kayf Aramis from Made in Japan, wide of Stripe Me Blue, near side of Amore Mio, who wasn't fluent at that previous flight. Kayf Aramis booted into the next by Paddy Brennan there. Souffleur stumbled a bit, still no move from Maucaillou at the rear of the field as they continue to make their way on the far side. And Kayf Aramis from Stripe Me Blue, the striped jacketed Made in Japan, black jacket Amore Mio, Giovanna's close up, so too Trenchant. Time for Rupert is now being bustled along by William Kennedy as they race towards what is their third last flight. And it's still Paddy Brennan and Kayf Aramis from Stripe Me Blue, Made in Japan. Then Amore Mio, Giovanna, Trenchant. Behind those, time for Rupert. Wolf Moon is just tracking the leading bunch. And then Cliffhanger, a couple of lengths or so back to Ring the Boss as they reach the highest point on the racecourse. Maucaillou is now making some progress, has passed 3 at this stage. Souffleur, Chiaro out the back with Buena Vista. Swinging left-handed, just 2 left to jump, but they're a long way from the finish here. Kayf Aramis, Stripe Me Blue. On the left, Trenchant, just being pushed along now. Made in Japan. Then Time for Rupert. Wolf Moon back in about 5th or 6th place as they head towards this second last. Behind them is Cliffhanger. The orange jacket Maucaillou is still travelling better than many, as Kayf Aramis leads narrowly to Stripe Me Blue over 2 out. Then Made in Japan. Wolf Moon, a desperate mistake on the inside. That was a real stopping mistake as they race for the final turn. And it's Kayf Aramis still pressed by Stripe Me Blue. Made in Japan in behind them. Time for Rupert is 4th. Maucaillou now running on into 5th place, closing as they straighten up for home. A long run to the final flight. Kayf Aramis, who stays very well. Made in Japan. Then Time for Rupert, who's been under pressure a while. In behind Stripe Me Blue and Maucaillou now about to join in. Trenchant over on the far side. They're still approaching the last, and now Kayf Aramis is headed by Time for Rupert. Made in Japan in the stripes. Maucaillou is just a length and a half behind them on landing as they race up the hill. Time for Rupert pulling out more from Made in Japan and Kayf Aramis. Maucaillou is flattening out. 150 yards left to go. Time for Rupert has really found something here. Made in Japan sticking his neck out in second. Then Kayf Aramis, but racing close to the finish. Time for Rupert repays William Kennedy's perseverance to win. In second, Made in Japan. Kayf Aramis 3rd. Maucaillou was 4th. Trenchant in 5th. A gap to Stripe Me Blue, then Cliffhanger and Wolf Moon, who made that terrible mistake. Chiaro Giovanna. Buena Vista next, then Amore Mio. Back to Ring the Boss and Souffleur.